Hello art people, welcome back to the art room. I hope you guys had an awesome break and I'm excited to have you guys back here in the art room, and I'm looking forward to spending time with you guys as you complete the art lessons this year and participate in those activities and make some really cool stuff and learn some things. So our goals in art class are to just have a relaxing enjoyable time and be safe and to learn. We'll be able to reach those goals if we follow our rules here. We have 4 rules. They are practice positivity, act responsibly, work and play safe, and show respect.
That spells pause.
And this is what all those rules look like in each part of the art class. For instance, the first part of art class is entering.
Oh, sure. Come on in.
So we'll go over
what practicing positivity looks
like when we enter,
what act responsibly looks like
when we enter,
what work and play safe looks like
when we enter, and
what show respect looks like
when we enter. And then we'll go over watching and listening, working, cleaning, all the parts of art class.
Let's go!
Go ahead and get your marker. What is the first thing that we do in art class? Yeah, we enter. So you can go ahead and highlight entering. So this is P, practice positivity. Be kind to the teacher and the students.
I love that song more than life.
You guys are 4th graders.
You so fancy.
So you can skip this part up here where it says K through 2, and you're just gonna go down where it says 3 through 5. It says, if someone is in your seat, say,
excuse me, I think that is my seat.
and if that doesn't solve the problem, then you can come and tell me. Highlight what I just read there, just the 3 through 5 part. And then this part that says, excuse me. What is our next rule? Act responsibly. So here's the chant for that. Act responsibly. Stay on task the whole time.
I love that song. That's so beautiful.
You can skip this first part because you're 4th grade.
You so fancy.
You'll go to 3 through 5. What does this say? You can come get a hug before going to your seat if you would like. So you can highlight that, and then you can color in this hug picture here. It also says you're not going to go to your friend first. You're not going to go to your friend first. You're not going to go to your friend first. You're going to go straight to your seat.
Do you understand that? Yes.
So highlight that as well. Once you get to your seat, you will take the dry erase marker that's on the side of your table. Then you circle how you're feeling. Unless you don't want to tell me how you're feeling, then you can just circle this blank. This says you're one of these. You'll check the box of what you want me to do with that information.
Help me help you.
Let me take a little break here at my studio seat.
Which is the seat that you're at right now at the gray tables. If I need to just leave you alone, that would be really useful to know. If you want to come talk to me about what happened and what upset you, and maybe get some advice and maybe get some encouragement from me, check that, and then I'll let you come up and talk to me. If your feeling changes throughout the class, you can erase with your finger, your dry erase circle, and change it. So what's the next rule here? Work and play safe. And what does that look like in the art room? Use the supplies how Mrs. McFarland does. It goes like this. Work and play safe. Use the supplies how Mrs. McFarland does. What does it say at the very top? Walking feet facing forward. Highlight these legs here and that.
So you're not walking in backwards. You're not walking in sideways. You're not like racing into the art room. We don't want 2 kids to be in the doorway at the same time and get stuck.
Just wait for the person in front of you to walk through, and then you can walk through the doorway.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then skip down here where it says 4 and 5 because you're 4th graders.
Facts.
And highlight that. It says hands to self. When you come in, you don't want to push people through the door because we're not rushing. You don't want to be holding on to somebody as you walk in. You're not to be touching anybody. You just walk in or just sit down. Work and play safe is what we do with our
Hands and our feet.
Act responsibly is
Our task. What are we doing with our brain here?
practice positivity. That's
How we show our heart. How can we be positive and kind?
and show respect goes like this. Show respect. We are quiet
Absolutely, makes perfect sense.
That's the chant for that one. So you can see that's what we do with our voice. So our voice level is how we show respect. Go down to 4 and 5 and highlight this. You may whisper with your table while you wait for me to get started. And your voice is off the second I start class. You can walk in not talking, but then once you get to your seat and you're waiting for me to pull things up for class, you can whisper to your table mate a little bit. You guys actually get to color in this second stoplight here, voice level 1, whisper. And you'll notice that K1 and 2, 3, they don't get to talk when they come in. So this is a privilege that you get as a 4th grader.
You so fancy.
But if that doesn't go well, then we'll move down to 2nd and 3rd grade where your lips are together and you're at a 0. Okay, so after we enter in, what happens next? Watching and listening, that's step 2. So go ahead and highlight that. These are your facial expression options. We're not going to watch and listen but like this. Is that very kind?
No.
No. So these are your facial expression options. So let's make them. Okay, let's make happy. Good job. Color that one. That's an option. Calm. That's an option. Or if you're really focused. It's okay too. Now, sometimes if we're feeling really upset, we can't help that we're like, maybe you have been having a bad day. Before you came to art class, you just kept getting in trouble, maybe.
'Cause you had a bad day.
So maybe you're just in a bad mood. That is okay. You just are gonna try to have a happy face. I'll help you try to get out of a grumpy face. We'll work on it together, getting you into these happy, calmer, focused facial expressions, okay? This is our goal. All right, what's the next rule? Act responsibly. Good.
Yeah, I got responsibilities now. Responsibilities?
You're only going to start using the supplies if I've instructed you to, and I'm also using the supplies. So highlight this. You're really just listening and thinking about what's going on. You can color her in. Okay, what's the next rule? Work and play safe. Good. So our eyes are on the board, so highlight that. Eyes on board.
Precise highlighting.
And skip down to 4th and 5th grade. And what does that say? Hands to self.
Let's go.
Whoa, no touchy. No touchy. No touch.
Highlight that.
So notice K and 1, they have to have their hands folded. 2nd and 3rd graders, their hands have to be still. You guys can fidget with your hands or fidget with your hair tie.
I'll allow it.
You just have to have your hands to yourself. As long as you're not touching other children or the supplies at the table.
No touchy. No touchy. No touch.
And if that is an expectation that's not being met, then we'll go down to 2nd and 3rd grade expectation. If that's not being met, then we'll go to K and 1 expectation.
Don't push it.
What's our next rule? Show respect. Yeah, and we can go show respect. We are quiet or silent when we are working on art. So obviously when we're watching and we're listening, we're going to be showing respect.
I ain't playing with y'all. Put some respect on it.
By not talking at all. So we're not going to talk over the person who is talking and showing us what to do and how to do it, or teaching us about an artist, or teaching us about different colors. Number 1, you can't think about what they're saying if you're busy talking.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Number 2, even if art is not your favorite thing in the world, there are kids who love art in every single class. Maybe you talking is going to distract them and it's going to frustrate them because they really want to focus. That child who loves art, they want to learn what that speaker is saying. They're interested, and if you're distracting them, then they're not going to be able to listen and learn, and that's going to be really frustrating for them, and it's not fair to them, and it's not respectful to them. You highlight all of that. Okay. So after we're done watching and listening, what comes next in art class? Working, yeah. Now we do our art. This is where we work on our art. So how can we practice positivity and be kind to the teacher and the students and use our heart during work time? If you like the art lesson and you are enjoying what's going on, that's something that you can tell your table about. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. If you don't like the lesson, you don't need to say,
I don't like this lesson.
that's not very kind, is it? That's not using your heart. Now, that being said, if there is something you don't like about the art lesson, you can turn your card red and then I'll come over to you and I'll say, how can I help you? And if you're like, hey,
I'm not a huge fan of this.
like, you can tell me.
Help me help you.
For instance, if we're cutting out ice cream scoops and you're like,
I'm not into this. I have really big hands and you've given me these tiny scissors and it's hurting my hands. I'm cramping up.
you can tell me that because I will have something that helps you with that issue. Whatever issue you have with the art lesson, tell me, because I might be able to solve the issue or help you think of a way to solve the issue. But complaining to your friends, that's just creating negative vibes floating around in the art room. We don't want negative vibes floating around in the art room. We want it to be positive, enjoyable, relaxing environment. We're not going to be going,
Oh man, I hate this. Okay, so let's highlight. If there are things in art class you like, you can share those feelings with your table. If there are things you don't like about art class, please share those with Mrs. McFarland. Maybe she can help. And then you can highlight all of this.
okay, what's the next rule? Act responsibly, stay on task the whole time. So you have 3 options here. Number 1, obviously, hands moving to follow the instructions. So you might be wondering what twiddling is. You can see a little picture of it here. Let's all practice. So put your fingers together and then you just go like this with your thumbs. You just wiggle your thumbs around. So you can go in a circle or like this. And this is what we do when we're thinking. We're kind of just fidgeting with our thumbs. We're twiddling our thumb. In our lesson, you guys know, you guys get tons of options. You get to choose your background. You get to pick all sorts of stuff. If you're just like, you're not working, you're not twiddling your thumbs, and I'm gonna be like, are you okay? Oh, all right, highlight that. Your last option is that you're watching the video because you're trying to figure out what to do.
It was a tutorial.
So you highlight that, and then we can color all of this with our highlighter.
Color it in.
What's our next rule?
Work and play safe. Use the supplies on the bottom in your seat.
Sit down, sit down, sit down.
Highlight that. And what does this say? Hands to self. Good.
It's best to keep your hands to yourself.
Highlight that. Now let's highlight this picture of this kid with his bottom in his seat and his hands to himself.
Color it in.
Now you can skip this next little blurb. That's for the little guys.
I'm a big kid now.
So you can create while I am creating. So you can highlight that now and highlight the last picture. Our hands will be moving at the same time. And when it says use the supplies on Mrs. McFarland does, that doesn't mean your artwork has to look the exact same as mine. It means if I tell you to use the scissors on the paper to cut something, you're going to use the scissors on the paper to cut something.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You don't get to decide,
Well, we got scissors out. I'm going to do something else. I'm going to give myself a haircut.
no, that's not what I'm doing with my scissors. Same thing with glue. If I get the glue out, I'm going to tell you and show you how I want you to use it. It doesn't mean our art is going to look the same, but we're using the tools the right way, the way that I've decided that we should use them.
We use artist materials in the studio in a safe and appropriate way.
Like, you're not allowed to, like, pour the glue out of the bottle.
That's not how we're using them. If you're like,
I have a really good idea of how to use this. It's not how you're using it.
turn your card red and I'll come to you and you can give me your idea. And if your idea is okay, then I'll say, go for it. Last rule of working. The working is the biggest part of the class. So this is really important. What's the rule? Show respect. We are quiet or silent when we are working on art. So what I really want is for you guys to be able to be at a voice level 2, which is quiet table talk. I'm going to read this to you. Most students do not enjoy working in a loud environment, so if you talk, you need to do so quietly. Only the students at your table should be able to hear you. Highlight all of that. When I gave feedback forms at the end of last year, there was a question that said, what is something you don't like about art class? And a lot of kids wrote that it was too loud. So we need to really work on using our inside voices and talking quietly at our table. So this is a good voice level right here. We're not shouting loudly. It's not a recess voice. It's a quiet table talk voice. If we can't handle that, we're going down to whisper, or we're going down to voice level 0.
Period.
That's the fourth part of art class. Cleaning. How do we use our hearts and be kind during cleaning? What does this say? Use your manners.
Good manners. Say please. Say thank you. Say excuse me.
Go ahead and highlight this, and you can color in all these shapes with your highlighter. When you are cleaning up.
It's time to clean up. It's time to clean up. It's time to clean up and put our things away.
You have to get out of your seat to put the thing away back on the art supply shelf where you got it from. If somebody is in your way, you are going to wait patiently.
I have to be patient and wait my turn.
What's the next rule? Act responsibly. Stay on task the whole time.
Writing songs is my favorite thing in the whole world, and I am so grateful for everyone who's embraced my music.
You are going to start cleaning up right when instructed to. Highlight that.
For precise
This is just like last year. 5 minutes before class is over, my alarm is going to go off. When you hear that timer, you start cleaning up. Let's read this together. Ready, set. Once you've finished your job, go to your area.
Have a seat.
So your area is the waiting room. Go ahead and highlight. You go to your waiting room seat. Waiting room seat matches your studio seat, just like last year. Walk to your waiting room seat when you're done cleaning up. What's the next rule? Work and play safe. Use the supplies how Mrs. McFarland does.
I love that song more than life.
So how are we going to be safe with our hands and our feet? Walking feet. So we're not running.
Because there are too many things you can run into. Might knock something over and break it. Or you might run into someone and hurt them.
Hands off other students. This is not time to play. Just because it's
the last 5 minutes of art class
does not mean it's time to start playing. We're not patty caking. We're not playing tag. And then you need to be gentle with the supplies.
We're not shoving boxes and shelves. We're not tossing crayons in cans.
Gentle with the supplies so that they last a long time.
I can take good care of things I use and respect all the things around me. When I do, everyone can enjoy them. Aye, aye, Captain!
Last roll. Ready, set, show respect. So, voice level 1, which is a whisper. If somebody at your table is like,
hey, I forget where to put the pencils,
you can answer them in a whisper voice. It's not time to whisper about what we're doing after school or blah, blah, blah.
Highlight that.
What is the next part of art class? Walking to the waiting room. You can skip this here. And this is actually the exact same thing as entering into the room.
How convenient is that? Wow.
If someone is in your seat, say,
excuse me, I think this is my seat.
If that doesn't solve the problem, then come to me. And act responsibly is walk straight to your seat and sit down. So same thing here. You're not going to go to your friend first. You're not going to go to your friend first. You're not going to go to your friend first. You're going to go straight to your seat.
Do you understand that? Yes.
Highlight that.
How are we going to work and play safe?
We use our walking feet.
Highlight that.
And hands off other students.
It's best to keep your hands to yourself.
So just the same as this over here, really. Show respect. start highlighting this as I talk. This cleaning time and walking to the waiting room and waiting time is my turn to talk. I have to make sure that everything is put away for the next class. I need to be able to look at the table and say,
you left your pencils out, so-and-so, come put the pencils away.
you left the crayons out, so-and-so, come put the crayons away. So I'm going to be giving reminders to kids. Hey, I see you're in the waiting room. You thought you finished your job. You didn't. You need to come back and do it. Kids are going to be asking,
I don't know where my waiting room seat
so I'm going to have to help them find their waiting room seat. This is not the time to talk.
Can you let me do what I need to do?
Because I don't want to have to yell. If you do have something to say to me, sit in your seat, raise your hand once everything's put away, and I'm going to go through, and if your hand is up, I'm going to say, how can I help you? And that's when you can talk to me.
Okay, talk to me.
So highlight all of that. What's the next part of our class? Waiting. Highlight that. And then you can skip down to where it says 4 through 5. And this says, think before you speak. Is it true? Is it helpful? Is it inspiring? Is it necessary? And is it kind? And then you can highlight these two kids talking. So when you're in the waiting room, you're going to practice positivity, be kind to the teacher and the students, by remembering to think before you speak. You're not going to be saying anything that might make somebody upset in the waiting room. Okay?
I try to be nice to everybody.
As you exit, you're going to act responsibly.
You need to act responsibly.
Your task is to stand up right away when I say
time is up,
or when the timer goes off. Highlight that, and then follow the person in front of you as you walk out. Highlight that. You can highlight these little kids if you want. And then work and play safe, walking feet.
You shouldn't run in the classroom. You should use your walking feet.
Feet facing forwards. If your teacher's there, you can just exit out with your teacher.
See y'all later.
If your teacher's not there yet, I'm going to have you guys stand in the hallway.
In a line, we're very, very quiet.
Highlight the feet. And you guys can skip down to 4, hands to self, and highlight that. And again, if hands to self isn't working up for us, if we're having trouble meeting that expectation, if a great deal of us are not doing that, then we can go down to 2nd and 3rd grade expectations where their hands are in their pockets or something.
Not a fan.
And if that's not working, we can have our hands folded like kindergarten and 1st graders. This is our last expectation here. How do we show respect when we're exiting? We're going to be silent. Everybody is silent.
You have said enough.
And when you're passing me, then you can say bye or have a good day. You can say something to me as you walk by, something kind.
Be nice to teachers.
That is the rules. You guys did an awesome job. In the next video, we are going to be talking about different jobs that everyone's going to be having to clean up. We're going to work together to clean up, and then we're just going to be coloring a really easy coloring sheet. So, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.